Well, 4 days after United's season ended, the fixtures for the new campaign are out. So welcome to a special Fixtures Revealed edition of the group chat. And the panel is in place. We've got Wes, we've got Ben, we've got Danny, we've got Maisie. Boys, morning, you okay?
Morning.
Morning.
What's it like
Morning,
for, I mean,
everyone.
as fans, and we always like, I love Fixture Reveal Day. Brilliant. But for players, what's it like? Are you shrugging the shoulders, or are you, when you were players, were you excited to hear the fixtures?
I think everybody's excited, Stu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you look at the rivals who you're going to be playing. Obviously, probably Liverpool's the first one you go, then City. And then you look at the other ones, the Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, all those that are around you. And obviously with Leeds thrown in there as well. They're the ones you get excited about. And people start asking you already about tickets for those certain games. You forget the rest of the season. They're the games they tend to ask for.
Yeah. Were you looking straight at Boxing Day? Wes, were you going straight for Boxing Day?
Yeah, no, you look around Christmas, New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, your birthday, just to see whether that's home or away. You know, and try and. I mean, my birthday's October, so that comes around pretty quick. So I'd always try and see whether we're home or away on that one to see what I'll be doing.
You're still looking for the fixture nearest your birthday, mate. You're not
100% even now. Yeah, you have to see what you're doing.
hey, this year I looked at mine, 24th of June.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, first time ever,
in all my career, that.
And we did have a game, Maisie, didn't we? Sheffield United.
I don't know who it was. I can't remember who it was.
United at home.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you've already seen all the fixtures and they are out at 9 o'clock this morning. First of all, first thing to say is, of course, all of these games are subject to change because of the TV picks. So a lot of these games are going to be live on TV. So it could be the Friday night, it could be the Saturday, Sunday, whatever. So these are just provisional dates. And of course, the other thing is we're kicking off a week later than most teams because of our European exploits. And I think our first game of the season would have been away to Burnley. But of course, that's going to have to be rearranged at some point later in the season. So we're kicking off a week later than everybody else. So let's just get the ball rolling by looking at the first fixtures that we've got. The first, say, 3 Premier League fixtures before the first international break. We're kicking off then at home to Crystal Palace. So you might remember 1 at Old Trafford at the start of last season. Home to Palace, away to Brighton. We've already just played that fixture, of course. And then we've got home to Tottenham, which is always big with Jose Mourinho coming as well. And in that little spell of fixtures, also, there'll be 2 League Cup games, Carabao Cup round 3 and round 4. So a first block of 5 fixtures before the first international break. So, boys, first of all, Palace at home, Brighton away, Tottenham at home as a league trio. What do you make of those fixtures, Ben?
Well, obviously, perfectly winnable. I don't think we can lose sight of the fact that I know we're not playing Burnley, but Burnley and Crystal Palace were arguably 2 of our most dismal performances last season, both at Old Trafford. But we always tend to do well against Spurs, and I think it's extremely important anyway, no matter who you're playing, that you get off to a good start, because you've got to envisage that teams like Liverpool and Man City will get off to a good start, and you don't want certainly by October with the fixtures that we've got there, you don't already want to be playing catch-up. So as much as they are winnable fixtures, it'll be in the back of the minds that they did inflict defeat on us last season, the first 2. And we just have to keep the momentum going for where we've just finished, and it's imperative that we get off to a good start.
Yeah, that's a fair point, isn't it, boys? Dropping any points is almost fatal when you look at what it takes to win the league these days. So it's crucial to get off to a good start in these games, isn't it, Maisie?
Yeah, I think Ben's just hit the nail on the head. You've got to get off to a good start. After week 1, we'll already be 3 points behind because they're not playing a game. But no, it's important. And I think those 3 games, you would expect us to win all 3. Yeah, Spurs will be tough, you know that.
Yeah.
But the first 2, if you have any aspirations of getting off to a good start, I don't think you could have picked 3 better. Well, certainly 2, knowing that Spurs is going to be a difficult game at Old Trafford. But you'd expect us to have maximum points after 3 games.
Are you going for that, Wes? I mean, Tottenham is always a tricky game, isn't it? But Palace at home and Brighton away. I'm not sure you could have asked for much more than that, could you?
No, you couldn't. And we need everything we can get from that month, because October is unbelievable, by the way. And it's my birthday then, Stu. But yeah,
oh, right, is it? You never mentioned it.
Yeah, so that's why I'm happy with it. So I'm like, okay, here we go. But yeah, September, the two first games, I mean, we want to start off well. We've not done it for a while. We want to be up there straight away. Like you said, we're a week behind everyone else anyway. But when we get to that Tottenham game, like, you know what, we want 6 points, and we want to be going into October around the top, near the top, but making sure everyone knows that, you know, we mean business this season, and you need to do that by making a good start.
And Dan, what you see as well is, yes, there are those 3 league games, but also each midweek there's a Carabao Cup game, and then we get into the Champions League and so on. It's going to literally be every midweek, isn't it?
Yeah, it will be. So, like you said, even before we get to the Champions League, but what that'll do is enable people to get game time, to make sure everybody's sharp. I think it's important that we, you know, as the lads have said there, we get off to a very good start, but not just in the league, in the cups as well. You know, we want to make sure that the winning habit is, you know, every game we turn up at, we're looking to win. Doesn't matter who the opposition is. And you could look at our last 3 or 4 or 5 years and sort of say that the lesser teams, like your Palaces and your Brightons and your Burnleys, with all respect, we've not performed well against. We've almost, you know, as fans, you walk away from the stadium a little bit deflated. But post-lockdown, we sort of have done very well. You know, we sort of put people to the sword. So it'll be interesting. As long as we come out the traps like we did after lockdown, then, you know, we can put those teams to bed and start getting the points on the board.
And then the games really do start to ramp up in October. Okay, Newcastle away, which is always a tricky one, and we were beaten there last season. Chelsea at home, Arsenal at home. That's when the first really big games start to come. But also when the Champions League starts as well in October, that's when it starts getting really difficult. I was wondering, Maisie and Wes, what it is like to play big Champions League games and the likes of, say, Chelsea and Arsenal, like we're going to do in October. How difficult is it to play all those big games week after week after week? How about you, Maisie, to start with?
Well, I think that first and foremost, Stu, you want to be in the Champions League. But do you know the dates of the Champions League? Who we're going to come back to?
Yeah, let me explain. Let me say. I mean, obviously, the Champions League draws not till the 1st of October, but the actual match day midweeks are set in stone. So, match day 1, which is the 21st of October, we'd play Chelsea at home after that. Match day 2, we'd play Arsenal at home after that. Then you've got match day 3, Everton away, which is tricky as well. Match day 4, Southampton away after that. Match day 5, West Ham away. And then match day 6, Manchester City at home. So after each Champions League group stage match day, you've got really difficult games. How tricky is that, Maisie?
Yeah, it's difficult. Of course it is. I think the first 2 fixtures where you've said there, Stu, you've got Chelsea and you've got Arsenal. I think the good thing is you're at home. Then you've got Everton, which is away, which is like a local game. You know, there's not much travelling until you get to the Southampton game.
Yeah.
And then you've got the derby at the end of it. So I think there could have been a hell of a lot worse with us travelling, you know, long distances away. Mm-hmm. But that's what Manchester United's all about, playing in the Champions League. You know, we were desperate to get back into it. We've got back into it. And we just got to deal with it. What I would hope is that by then, by the beginning of October, we've got several more bodies in that can shed the load. Because what you don't want to be doing is picking up a couple of injuries early in the season and then, you know, having to battle those games and try and get through them with a depleted squad, or, you know, when you low down on numbers. So it's always tough, you know that, but it's what playing for Manchester United's all about. You love them games, you thrive for them games.
Yeah, Wes, that is the point, isn't it? Playing big games like Chelsea and Arsenal, Everton away, and Champions League games in midweek as well. As a player, did you relish that?
I did, and you know, you will look at that as a player and think, right, well, that's the first month where everybody has to be ready. You know, every single game is a big game for the fans as well. But I think as a player, you know, it would help a little bit with your concentration and stuff. you would make sure you rest. You know, just visually looking at the actual fixtures, I think helps yourself. But at the same time, I do agree with Maisie with the squad. I think that's where the squad comes into play, because you can't have, you know, you do have to have some games where players are going to have to take a rest, or there could be a couple of knocks, and that's where the rest of the lads have to step up and take over. So, you know, that I mean, it's very early as well, but that's the month where that could happen straight away. So we need, you know, the squad needs to be ready.
Now, December, of course, is always a busy month, and there could well be 9 games in December, depending on if we reach the Carabao Cup round 5. Now, the first Manchester derby of the season is going to be at Old Trafford, 12th of December, or that weekend at least. And the first game against Leeds, wow, it's been a while, isn't it, since the 2003-04 season, since we last played them in the league, is going to be 19th of December, around there. That could either make or break your Christmas with Leeds United. So Manchester City and Leeds with a midweek game at Sheffield United, Danny, in December. That is a tasty week, isn't it? Yeah,
it's a huge week. You know, as you say, Sheffield United in the middle of it, they've come up and done really well, so that's going to be a tough game. But the derby prior, it's at home. We did very well this year against City at home. We want to maintain the good performances we've put in against them. But then, as you say, to top it off, 6 days before Christmas, you know, we've got Leeds coming to Old Trafford for the first time. And I think you only have to look at the youth team game a few months back.
Yeah.
Brought about 5,000 or 6,000 then. So you know, they'll be here in force. Hopefully, if we're allowed fans back in the stadium properly, and it'll be a tasty encounter. So for me, I do hope we've got fans, or at least a large section of fans in the stadium by then, because you know, it'll be an unreal atmosphere, and you know, I want to see it get back to normal as quick as possible. But yeah, Leeds is it's tasty. It's a tasty one, and they're the games you want to be playing in.
Just talking about fans, you might have a look at the Manchester United Apple website for the latest on that. First of all, there'll be no fans inside any stadium before the 1st of October. Then after that, obviously United are in discussions and consultations with the government and local authorities to see how many fans could be allowed in, what the social distancing implications are, and what the roadmap is to eventually getting back to full capacity. So it's obviously a long road, but we're on that road. But the thing about that is, Maisie, when you look at these fixtures I've just mentioned there, like Leeds, like City, it's terrible the thought of that without fans, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing better. Waking up on a Saturday morning, Sunday morning, you know, you're going over to Ellen Road, or Leeds are coming to town, and there's a real buzz. There really is. And particularly with is it 16 years now since they've been in the Premier League?
Yeah.
You know, I'm pretty sure that Leeds fans' first fixture to look for, Man United. And to have no fans in the stadium, it'd be an absolute nightmare. But it is what it is. Everyone's got to be safe. But fingers crossed by then, either they've got some sort of action together where they can, you know, get fans in. I'm not sure whether they'll have, you know, away fans in by then. I think that every club will want to look after their own really first. But I think to have a little bit of fight and you know, the fans to get up for it, I think you've maybe got to have a little bit of away fans as well. But looking forward to that. That'd be an absolute fantastic game.
Where's you always look at Boxing Day? Would you be crying your eyes out away to Leicester, which means you're going to have to stay in a hotel on Christmas Day?
Probably. But you know, we're used to it. But as a fan, I mean, it's not that bad. You know, short trip to Leicester wouldn't be that bad. But as a player, you know, I'll be wishing for a home game, Stu. Same on New Year's Day as well.
Yeah. Leicester away on Boxing Day, but surrounding that, Leeds at home, Wolves at home, Villa at home. There's a lot of home games around Christmas, but the Boxing Day is away to Leicester. The first game in the new year, home to Aston Villa, and that's when suddenly cup competitions again kick back into place. Carabao Cup is now just a one-leg semi-final to try and save a little space in terms of fixtures as well. And no cup replays as well, because, again, so many games have to be shoehorned in to every midweek. I think it's a real shame for the FA Cup, but these things have to happen in this current situation. How tricky is that, Webbs, when you've got 9 games in December? I mean, that is tough, and it must be physically difficult.
Yeah, and it goes back to what we were saying before about the depth of squad, and being able to share games and trust the people that are coming in so the performances don't dip. So, that's, everybody knows the situation we're in, and no club's any different. So, recruitment's key. Quality of player, keeping the fitness levels up will be a tough one for Ollie to manage, because obviously when you've got, like this year, as we've come in after lockdown, the rhythm was good, and then you start to chop and change people. It just can upset the rhythm a little bit, but you have to know that the people coming in are, it's going to be a seamless transition. So yeah, this period now, preparing for that is very important.
Just running through some of the games early on in the new year as well. As I say, Villa at home, the first one, then a couple of possible cup games. Fulham away, which is always one of the best trips, I think, of a season. It's going to be a midweek, but on the fixture list, you'll see it says Tuesday the 12th of January, but it might not be that. It might be the following midweek, because the Premier League fixture programme is going to be split up between 2 midweeks. So it might not be on the 12th, it might be the following midweek. So you just have to kind of stay across these things. But then Liverpool away in January. So that's the first time. It's incredible to think we're not playing Liverpool until January. So Liverpool away, and then you've got Sheffield United and Arsenal away in January. So that's a tough old start to the new year. But Ben, it's quite something. You said you're looking at Liverpool away. That's the one you're looking at. You've had to wait till mid-January for it.
Yeah, it's really unusual that that you've not completed a full set of fixtures before Christmas. But the nature of the beast is that they just purely and simply don't have enough time. And I think the other interesting thing is there that I can't remember the last time that we actually played Liverpool so late in a season as we're going to do in May. Leading up to I think it's the 4 or 5 games from the end. So yeah, we have got to wait all that time, and we you obviously hope that by the time we get to play Liverpool on the 16th of January, that that they're looking up at us and not the other way round. And of course, there's a huge void from last season to get to that point. But that is what Manchester United is all about. They've been in positions before where they've they haven't won the league, and it's how you combat that the following season. And Sir Alex Ferguson was an absolute master at it. If he lost the league, he made sure that the following season it wasn't going to be the case. And I think that we all know that Liverpool and Manchester City, certainly Liverpool, are the benchmark. And we hope that when we get to play Liverpool on the 16th of January, it really does mean something.
It's worth pointing as well that all of the big hitters we have to be playing away in the second half of the season. Liverpool away, Arsenal away, Chelsea away, City away, Tottenham away, Leeds away. So there's a lot of massively difficult away games in the second half of the campaign. Something that Ben touched on there was the lateness of playing Liverpool in May. Right at the start of May, we're playing Liverpool at Old Trafford. And it's quite unusual to have so many games in May as well. 5 league games in May as we try and squeeze in all of those fixtures before the end of the campaign. In May, Liverpool at home, Villa away, Leicester at home, Fulham at home, and the season ends with a nasty-looking game away to Wolves. And Wes, would you expect Wolves to still be sort of in and around there as they have been for most of this season? That could be a nasty one to end, couldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they're a good side. I do expect them to be, in the top half with the way that they play, the players that they have. But I mean, that's a long way away yet, Stu. But that will be a nice one to end. I just hope by then, the fans are back in the stadium, because we all watched it on telly, how it went, and the final games. It did miss fans, even for teams in the relegation battle. So I just hope by, at some point in October, certain fans can go back. I don't know if all of them can. But by, the new year, hopefully even more can, because there's so many games they would have missed live. And even as players, you just want them there.
Yeah. No, I mean, hopefully fans will gradually be allowed to come back, and there will be that roadmap to getting Old Trafford full again. Our trip to Ellen Road taking place late April, 24th of April, Tottenham on the 10th of April, City away at the start of March, Chelsea away late February. It is mouth-watering to talk about all of these games, all of the European games as well. It's interesting that the FA Cup final doesn't have a standalone date. That's on a Premier League fixture weekend as well, which takes a little bit away from the FA Cup final. But it's just what's got to have to happen to squeeze all these fixtures in. So overall, boys, to sum it up, are you looking at that and you think not too bad? Or it's slightly weird, isn't it, that all of the harder away games, all of them basically, are after Christmas? Do you think it's just fair enough, that fixture calendar, Ben, or are you a little bit concerned at some aspects?
Doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. I think Maisie started off with it that as you know, players at Manchester United and the club that they are, you know that at certain stages of the season you've got to go to these places. And really, if you've got aspirations for winning a title, it doesn't really matter whether you're playing them home or away and at whatever times. You know that at some stage that fixture has got to fall. And I also think that depending on where we are with fans, that being away or at home might not even come into the equation.
No, it's interesting. If you want to have a look at this full fixture, let's take a look at the Manchester United app and website. And of course, all of those fixture dates are subject to change until we get the TV dates through. Before we go, we must just get some reaction to yesterday's show. Now, you might even remember we were talking, somebody suggested that Wes had the personality of a toaster. And I suggested that you should let us know what you think of our guest in terms of household devices. So this one from Kat and Chris: Maisie is a Breville toasted sandwich maker, as he's crusty and hard on the outside but soft on the inside.
Oh yeah.
Ben is the biggest, sharpest knife in the block because he's well hard with his gangster shades. Wes is the hot point Aquarius because he used to spin me right round, and Danny is the big light. His smile lights up the group chat. Can't believe that. P.S.
Nice
Gardner
words.
is a Dyson. Gardner is a Dyson. You have to send it off for 2 weeks to be fixed. That's from Kat and Chris. Thanks for that. David, we were talking about statues as well. Should there be more statues at Old Trafford? Who of, etc. David Ward, maybe a statue of the team that was in the Munich disaster. What a team. God only knows what the team may have achieved. Thanks, lads. Enjoy the show, says David Ward. Thanks for that. And also, you were talking about statues and whether we need more. I think we have the Stretford End Sir Alex stand, Sir Bobby stand, the East stand, which I'm in. But could we not rename it as the Legends stand with pictures and memorabilia of all the legends not currently in statue form, says Phil. It's actually not a bad point, because I was thinking after our chat yesterday, I was thinking, oh, we didn't mention him. That is the problem, isn't it? We've got so many of them. We have got so many of them to fit in. I'd have a Roy Keane statue. Dan, that is the problem, Dan, isn't it? We have got a lot of history.
A lot of good history. I think that's it as well. And everybody will have somebody that when they were growing up that they idolised, and even as they've grown up, and a lot, you know, people that have played, lads here who've played with other lads as well, who will then in 10, 20 years be thought of in exactly the same way as you know, Bobby Charlton's and the like. So yeah, there's such a rich history, great moments that people will remember for their own unique reasons.
Yeah. MUTV at manunited.co.uk if you want to get in touch with us. And that is my last show for a week or two. So boys, do take care. Wait, see you in a...
You're going off to get fixed.
Where are you going, Stu?
No, we're excited, but you know,
Go and get that
time
candy
away.
floss machine fixed for his barnet.
Need a bit of time. Need a bit of time off. So, boys, have a good time. See you in a couple of weeks, hopefully. In the meantime, on this fixture reveal day, let's just think what lies ahead for us over the course of the next 9 or 10 months. Bye bye for now.